with use of AI, very possible and activated.
Yes.
So our technology has to not only say, okay, this is a knife, what's a good ad to be served after that?
This is Mobile Groove. This is possible. And everything at some level is about AI. But when you start to get too generic, you get away from the specifics of how it impacts certain ad formats or types or players in the ecosystem. That's why I'm excited to have you, Brad, because at Kerv AI, that's exactly what you're trying to do. Bring it all together because we can't be so generic anymore. But for the audience that doesn't know enough about Kerv, why don't you start off with just a bit more about how you're bringing everything together? And yes, publishers, ecosystem, and a focus on video. We're having a new view of video, and we're getting away from, I think, the obstacles that kept us away from really exploring this.
Absolutely. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me. At Kerv, our real core is metadata. So we really tap into a couple of our patents to create monetization opportunities for our publishers, our platforms, and then create the best experiences. So what we'll do is we'll take, a piece of content, long form, with our premium publishers, or short form, meaning an ad from a brand, and we analyze that down to the pixel edge. That's where our patent is, at the pixel edge. And what we're able to do with that is correlations between what we're seeing in the video and something else. And that something else can be a product feed. It could be just a simple ad unit, or it could just be something contextual just to align with a particular in content.
Because before, when I said we haven't taken advantage of video, it was like a little bit of surface knowledge about it. It was the givens. I'm seeing this image, therefore that matches it. But you're going much deeper than just the image. It's like the meaning of the video down to the pixel level, but also a different context, I would imagine.
We power a lot of the contextual signals for major publishers. We power them, which is Warner Brothers Discovery. Just yesterday, we made a post with Moments that the favorability, brand favorability, is up 23% for contextual moments.
How does that work? I didn't think it would be a benefit directly to the brand.
If you have a brand that really wants to be around family mealtime moments, very hard to find for a human if you're talking about a catalog or a library as big as Warner Brothers Discovery. In the past, a human would have to say, okay, where do we think that there's going to be a family eating a meal together within all of our content? Historically impossible. With use of AI, very possible and activated and being brought to market. So what Kerv's technology does is that we are able to look into that entire library as well as new and upcoming content that we process and actually find those particular moments. And so what we can do is now build to scale. And building to scale sort of gets away from historically, the humans say, okay, we found these 10 places where families are eating meals and content. Let's associate your brand there. Where now the scale is so much higher. So brands win because now they're able to reach those viewers in those moments. Publishers win because they're able to create new monetization lanes against their content that they're already putting out there.
So it's all content, really. I mean, we're talking about the placements in entertainment or in movies as one, but we're all making content. I'm making content right now. So if we were eating, there's a moment that someone could potentially sponsor or be there. I mean, is it that I would have that placement in that moment, or is it that would be like a brought to you by sort of thing?
So we can get as close to your earrings and your scarf are very good examples. Your earrings are very unique. Kerv's technology can actually find those particular earrings with a confidence score and then match it to somebody's product feed and then serve you an ad should you be interested if you saw it in a piece of content.
Because it's scalable, it's probably, if we did something very unexpected right now, we wouldn't like blow the system's mind here. It would simply adapt to it. So it's going to not just be aligned with the content, it can adapt to it. Changes anything. That's the state of it. I mean, there's a reason why I have a patent, right?
The VOD space or the on-demand space is wonderful to work in because you have the time. but our technology also works in the live space. So to your point, if something erratic happened, in a piece of content or in a live feed, we can react to that. One of the examples I always use in the VOD space is a knife in a cooking show and a knife in a drama are two very different use cases.
Yes.
So our technology has to not only say, okay, this is a knife, what's a good ad to be served after that? Sometimes it's not to sell a knife, depending on the content. We're actually able to do that now in live, and we have a lot of people who use our contextual signals for brand safety. So when we were talking about a live feed, there are things that will happen that are unexpected.
Yes.
And technology now, technology that we have can react in real time. So if we are seeing something in content that might not be particularly suitable for a brand, we can recognize that and actually not serve a particular ad. So we can turn it off based on what we have just seen in a piece of content, whether it's VOD or in the live space.
So it's exciting technology. You're going to be a little bit like the Intel inside. So what is the way that you get to market? Is it through ad servers, demand partners?
We work with partners on deduplication of ads to make sure that, that doesn't happen. But what our true goal is to have that interoperability. Historically, a brand would have an initiative. Maybe they could have brand safety, or maybe they could have contextual placements, but they really did it in a bubble, in a silo for a campaign-specific initiative.
Exactly.
One campaign. They move on. Maybe they have some learnings, but all brands can't do it, and all brands can't do it across the ecosystem.
Right.
So we do work with all of the publishers, all of the major platforms, SSPs and DSPs, RMNs, as well as ad servers, to make sure our technology is fluid between them all. So as we keep on chipping away and building more, a buyer can then go and say, I'd like to find this contextual moment, but I'd like to find it across all of my upfront and scatter buys. Kerv can unlock that ability to do that.
I think that it's something that once you reach a certain point, then it becomes something of a standard, perhaps.
Yes.
Where are you on that development?
So we really have prioritized the sort of tier one premium publisher set. They're producing the highest quality and the highest volume of content that has a shelf life. So when working with those particular folks, we just make sure that we're prioritizing the tech partners and that infrastructure that they are prioritizing. We want to be a seamless, frictionless layer in between, and then just make sure that is all able to be bought without friction from the buying side. We want to make sure we're not just building something, even with all of our publishers, that can't just be opted into in a direct or programmatic fashion.
Looking at the brand safety discussion, looking at the relevancy discussion, it's kind of interesting that we're getting, I think, maybe further than personalization. This is beyond personalization. These are those magic moments we've been talking about for a long time, that if we knew them, we could unlock them because they are there. Yeah, there's like the overall context, and then there's these miniature moments. It's almost like it's a new way of ROI, because there's like the overall saying, like, I'll use a simple example, like a game, or, a football game or something. I mean, that's that. But then there are moments within that. So it's like giving, I would say, another level to what you can monetize.
Oh, absolutely. The audience is opting into a particular piece of content. So they have decided this is the content I want to see. And then so being able to serve something contextually that fits within that sort of the environment and the feeling and the sentiment of that viewer has true impact. Like what I just mentioned before with the brand favorability, the 10%, over 10% of purchase intent. We as viewers can opt into something, we're interested in it, and now we can activate or at least have an experience with that brand in the moment versus maybe later I just write it down or I forget about it.
I'm going to ask about the channels. I mean, is this omni-channel? Because I'm like a mobile app and and web to app sort of space there, because mobile is our remote control, right? It's our personal device for a reason. But we have CTV, we have other ways of interacting, and it's really cool when you have the handoff. So how omni-channel are you? Because you're working with the publishers. Does that mean specific formats with the publishers, or all the formats that they embrace?
We're agnostic. So we make sure that our technology is nimble to jump from the big screen to the small screen.
Okay.
So we can work with either, and we do. So we want to make sure, again, so a brand can opt in and get a full campaign that isn't siloed, and I have to work with this for this KPI, this vendor for this KPI, and this partner for this KPI. We really work to streamline through to the transaction. We empower all of our publisher and platform partners to bring our technology as part of their go-to-market. In parallel, we will also work, we have a full agency demand team who facilitates, who amplifies our message,
Okay, so you're working with agencies directly as well.
Yes. So both sides.
So I was wondering, how do you get over that? Because I'm talking to so many people and it's just like, direct buys in these times. Maybe they have the budget for it, but they don't have the patience or the team for it.
Yep, absolutely. So we have a team who can facilitate that. And then we also work with our publishers to, sort of facilitate demand to them. And then they don't, to your point, have to work with me.
So it gets exciting when you think about where this can go. I want you to indulge me and think with me about where this can go. We're going to get to the point where we have moments that we could monetize. I'm not saying we're going to get to, the Matrix or something close to that, but it does feel a little science fiction about how far you can go. So where do you want to take this?
The most precise messaging without being too intrusive. A lot of the experiences that we power are owned by the publishers. They are the experts. They speak to their audience. They know their audience. They know their audience reacts to certain things. We definitely have best practices where we want to make sure that we are bringing the most relevant experience that doesn't disrupt a user. If they are going to engage and, potentially transact, we also have to make sure that the inventory is there. So, if you've gone through that entire, I'm in the moment of this piece of content, I like this product, I'm checking it out, and then all of a sudden, it's out of stock, frustrating. So we actually have a decision waterfall on the back end too. We really think about the user experience in everything that we do, because that is the ultimate yay or nay in whether you're doing something correct or incorrectly.
So you're not going down the road of like a Black Mirror episode where it's going to get really weird.
No. We're really focusing on the content and not that individual. So we're not targeting a human, so we don't have to worry about privacy.
That's true. It's just what I'm looking at. So what this is not just a new technology. I think this opens up new opportunities for publishers, but they have to get their head around the user experience, because we do not want to go Black Mirror, and we do want to be careful of brand safety. And that's just it. You can do both. So what does it look like? I interact with content that I'm seeing on a channel, your omni-channel. Where does the brand come into the conversation, and how does that look in a typical way?
Each publisher that we work with has a little bit of a different flavor with how to engage with their consumer. What's great about our technology and our data is that we fuel the instances, whether it is a QR or a pause. So whether you're using your remote or your phone, again, you guys get to choose. The consumer gets to choose what's most convenient for them, right? If you and I are watching a show together, maybe I don't want to pause to shop because it's our viewing experience. Right. But if I'm alone, I could pause to shop because it's my time. The QR, if in a setting where two people are watching, you can then be on your phone shopping while the content continues, so it doesn't interrupt the viewing experience. I would say today, there's not enough statistical significance to say one is better or one is worse. We do case studies on just about everything that we work on. We are a data company first, and we want to make sure that we're optimizing everything that we're doing. We iterate to make it more efficient for our clients, but a better viewing experience, and we want to make sure we continue to optimize with the viewer in mind.
I'm a little bit of a data nerd, so I'll be excited about that, because that will be about like a playbook of extracting value from priceless moments and getting the value from that. We've been talking about different contexts. There was on location. There were all these different ways, but I don't think we've actually explored the moments. That will be exciting research. Will you think of me about that, Brad, when that moment comes?
I will. So we're moving away from publishers stuffing more ads into slots and making them longer into just have it the existing ad slot and just make it a better ad experience.
I like that. I like that a lot. Brad, you got me excited. I've got this mind, and it's thinking, that's just it, because we don't need more space necessarily. We don't need that science fiction where everything's an ad. But what we do need is we need precision context, and that is triggering moments, not screens, not formats, but the moments. That's where you'll find connection. I will look forward to connecting with you again. When you have the research ready, Brad, is there a date?
Sounds a plan.
You're on.